Hopefully you guys can hear me. This is my first time ever going live on YouTube. So hopefully it works out. So today I'm going to be touching on divine masculine and divine feminine energy. There's so much discussion about this topic these days, and I really want to touch on the basics of it if you're just beginning or if you're just doubling back to learn some more. So honestly, I think I'm just going to hop right into it. We have divine masculine over here. I know the text is kind of small. Here, I'll underline this. Divine masculine will be red, and we'll do divine feminine will be blue, okay? So we all have both divine masculine and divine feminine energies within us. We have masculine and feminine energy. Whether or not they're amplified in their divine nature is kind of up to our own awareness, our own consciousness. So when we're starting with divine masculine, I want you guys to think of divine masculine energy like this, okay? This is my depiction of a glass, okay? I know it's a little questionable here, but we're gonna go with it. So a glass, like yes, a glass cup, okay? A glass, a water glass, a drink glass. Divine masculine energy. Moving over to divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy is going to be our water. Okay. You guys see that? So, the reason that we're going to use the analogy of a glass for divine masculine energy, I think it's one of the best analogies so far that I've come to for these energies. Masculine glass, feminine water. The number one thing you want to understand about divine masculine energy, right, is that it is ever unchanging. It is unchanging. Masculine energy is like this glass. In fact, let me grab this for you guys, okay? This glass. The bottle is masculine energy. Inside the water, I'm gonna take a sip because I'm actually thirsty, is our divine feminine energy. So this glass right here, this is not changing. This glass, it's not pliable. You cannot make it form a different shape. It is what it is. It's very rooted and grounded and stable in its molecular makeup of glass, in the shape of the bottle which it comes. Now the water inside though, if I take this water and if I were to grab another glass and I poured the water inside of it into a different glass, the water would take on a different shape. Right now, the water takes on the shape of the bottle. If I were to pour it into a glass like this, it would take on that type of glass. Is your dad home or something? So, masculine energy is the glass. Masculine energy is ever unchanging. The reason that we refer masculine energy to stability is because of this quality of predetermined structure. Masculine energy is the energy that gives us our shape, that provides our space, okay? So, in terms of people, when we're talking about masculine energy, a lot of women say, I want a masculine man, I want a provider. But what we need to really recognize is that masculine energy is providing a type of space. It is not necessarily about providing money, though it could be. Money is actually a feminine energy, but that's a conversation for another time. Masculine men provide a certain structure, provide a certain space that is consistent, that is stable. For the feminine energy, to form to take shape with, and to even get creative within it. If we dropped a penny inside of this glass with water in it, the water would take on a different shape. Is everything okay? What is going on? Your dad must be home. So, back to what I'm saying. Just like when we speak to water, right? It takes on different molecular forms. The masculine energy holds space for the feminine to take on certain shape, to become her energy, to flow and to go through the motions in which water does. Divine feminine energy is ever changing. One second, guys. Hold on. Like this water, divine feminine energy is always going with the flow. It is changing with the emotions, it's changing with the weather. Masculine energy can't relate, okay? Masculine energy is consistent. It is rooted in the fact that it is this glass through and through. It has space to hold for the divine feminine energy. But the masculine energy itself is unchanging. It is stable, it is consistent. So, feminine energy, ever changing with the drop of a dime. Literally, if you drop the dime in the water, it'll change. It changes with circumstance. Feminine energy adapts to situations, it changes to circumstance. Masculine energy does not. Masculine energy remains rooted in what it is, it remains rooted to self. Now, the reason for this is because masculine energy is the energy that is directly connected to the most stable, deepest level of consciousness. And sometimes we can call this the unified field. So both of these energies are connected to the unified field, but the masculine energy is functioning at the bare level of it, at the basics. It is rooted in the ultimate truth. So another thing we can compare masculine energy to is stoicism. Masculine energy is stoic by nature. It lives by the philosophy that things happening externally do not have to affect me internally, okay? Feminine energy, on the other hand, whoa. So let's do another analogy real quick. Let's say we have the ocean, right? The depths. If some type of weather comes, there will be a change in the waves, right? They will take different shape. They'll become higher, stronger, lower, low tide, high tide. At the deepest levels, the ocean will still remain still. It will be unaffected. So masculine energy is the depth. And sometimes we think of feminine energy as depth because feminine energy does have the ability to allow us to go deep. But masculine energy is the stillness that will always remain the same, that is located at the depth of the ocean. Feminine energy is the ocean in its entirety, but feminine energy is the waves. It is the first, I don't know, what do you want to say, 10, 20 meters of the ocean? I don't even really know how we would gauge that. I'm no biologist, marine biologist or anything, but it is the part of the ocean that fluctuates, that takes on different form and different waves. It's the part of the ocean that moves. So our feminine energy is our energy of our emotions. So our feminine energy is our energy of our emotions. It's the things we change, okay? Our masculine energy is our truth. It is the things that always will stay true, will always stay consistent. It is stoic in nature. It says that, I am the observer of things happening around me. The external will not affect the internal. Feminine is all about living life to the fullest experience of it. I want to experience everything deeply, okay? It's about receiving the energy. It's about saying, I want to change with the flow. One moment, I want to be fully immersed in my happiness, and the next I want to be fully immersed in my sadness. Feminine energy will change. It will be able to fluctuate to certain situations. Masculine energy will always be rooted in itself. Okay? And now, like I said, we both have both of these energies. It is important for us to live in a place of authenticity and experience. Okay? Because if we only have the masculine energy, we can tend to denounce the physical of life, right? If one person only had masculine energy and was only functioning from this place, kind of like retreating into the mountains of the Himalayas and becoming a monk and renouncing the physicality of life. It's someone who wants to stay in meditation all day, someone who denounces the ever changing realm of activity. Someone who's in their feminine energy is very ungrounded, who's only in their feminine energy, I should say. Can we hear the baby babble? Can you hear her talking? She's adding to the conversation. Feminine energy is always changing. So someone if someone only had feminine energy and there's an imbalance or there's a mass imbalance. And when I say balance, I don't mean 50-50, okay? For each person, it's going to change. One person will have 80% masculine, 20% feminine, and that's their balance. Someone else will have 60-40, vice versa, right? But if someone only had feminine energy and they only function from this place, they would not know who they are. They would not be rooted in any truth whatsoever. Okay, they're going to constantly fluctuate to what the world expects of them, the person around them. They would be like a chameleon, always adapting, always changing to everything and everyone around them, never being rooted in who they are as a person. So both of these are very important. And since we're having a little bit of interruption with the babies, excuse me, Mama. Are you okay? You want to come say hi? Okay. So I know I'm talking kind of fast because this is my first live and trying to get my thoughts out. I have a lot of these, but let's just look and see if I missed anything so far for part one. I don't want to overwhelm everybody or anybody for part one, but I want you to hold on to this analogy, okay? Divine masculine energy is the glass. The divine masculine person will hold space, will be stable and rooted, will be unchanging and unaffected by the ever changing flows and relationality of the feminine energy, which is always adapting, which is always looking to feel, which is always looking to take new shape, which can be very changed at a molecular level in terms of how we speak to it. So, emotions, physicality, spirituality, and mentality, right? So these feminine energy would be spirituality and emotionality, masculine energy would be mental and physical. But they're all interchanging, and that is why you can change your thoughts. You can change your mindset. You can change your body, right? Because we have the feminine energy aspect to it. And that's why in our spirituality, we can have a certain truth that we always go back to. Or in our emotions, we can have a place of continued, I would say, structure in how we deal with our emotions, right? We all deal with our emotion in certain ways. In the structure of that, the process of how we deal with our emotions could be related to our masculine energy. Now, in part two, I will probably discuss how these two coincide with each other in relationship. We've touched on briefly how they coincide within us as individuals, but a big topic these days is wanting a divine counterpart who exists in a certain polarity. And so in the next video, in part two, I'm going to go ahead I'm going to go ahead and talk about how this would function and how it could properly function, healthily function, um, in a relationship, in between two people. So, if you're an individual watching this, and you're watching this, you are going to be an individual watching this. Okay, so if you're watching this and you have these two energies, and it is important for you to honor both of them. You want to honor the truth and the structure of masculine energy, and you want to also honor the change that occurs within you, the experiences that you have with yourself and with life. You want to nurture your emotions and strengthen your mentality. You got a lot to say too. Yeah, girl. You can tell them. And you'll find that you are either more masculine or more feminine, perhaps. Or maybe you're meant to have the perfect balance. But we'll talk about how to identify that a little bit more down the road. So, thanks for tuning in. Say bye, girl. See you at the next video. If I can learn how to stop this.